2025 isn't over yet, but so far, two Chinese BLs are leading the year like nothing else. Revenged Love and ABO Desire. Steamy, dramatic, bold, and completely Chinese. And that's what makes it so strange. Because officially, BL is banned in China. So how are these shows even getting made? And why are they suddenly dominating the year? Back in the so-called bromance era, shows like The Untamed had to bury their romance under metaphor. But in 2025, Revenged Love and ABO Desire aren't playing coy. They're direct, explicit, and impossible to ignore. Let's talk about how that's even possible, and what it tells us about censorship, creativity, and the strange space Chinese BL now lives in. BL isn't illegal in China, but it might as well be. Officially, the Chinese government doesn't criminalize homosexuality, but LGBTQ+ representation, especially in mainstream media, is another story entirely. In recent years, anything seen as promoting abnormal sexual relationships has been quietly removed or blocked. And that includes most of the BL genre. What used to be full danmei adaptations have been stripped down into vague, metaphorical bromances. Shows like The Untamed, Word of Honor, and Guardian still told queer stories, but only through subtext, long stares, and censored scripts. Then in 2021, things got even more serious. China launched a sweeping crackdown on what it called sissy idols and unhealthy love. Male actors were expected to appear more masculine. Storylines had to align with so-called core socialist values. And BL, even coded, became harder to make. The message was clear: queer love might exist, but not on Chinese screens. In 2025, that pressure hasn't gone away. In fact, this year, several danmei writers were arrested for producing or profiting from gay erotic content. Some were sentenced, others were fined, and the industry, once full of underground creators, is now balancing on a knife edge. That's the context. So the question remains: how are shows like Revenged Love and ABO Desire still getting made? Despite all of that, in 2025, we have shows like Revenged Love and ABO Desire. And they're not just surviving, they're dominating. So how? The short answer: they're made outside of mainland China, or at least they're structured that way on paper. Some are filmed in Thailand or Singapore, others are edited, post-produced, or officially registered through companies in Taiwan or Hong Kong. The cast is often entirely Chinese, but the production label isn't. It's a loophole, a calculated workaround. By keeping the official business outside China, creators can avoid direct regulation from the mainland's strict broadcasting laws. And since most of the audience is now international, the shows are streamed through overseas platforms like Gaga Olala, Heavenly, Viki, and KKTV. But even that loophole doesn't guarantee safety. Take ABO Desire. It was once available on major Chinese-owned platforms like WeTV, Youku, and iQIYI. Today, it's gone, quietly pulled. The creators confirmed the removals, but no official reason was given. No formal ban, just gone. And that tells us everything we need to know. The ban may not be written in one line of law, but it's still very real. Revenged Love has quickly become one of the most talked about Chinese BLs of 2025. The series is based on a novel by Chai Ji-dan, the same author behind Addicted and Stay With Me, two iconic BLs that helped define the danmei-to-screen genre nearly a decade ago. Addicted was famously cut short. Stay With Me aired in full, but faced its own share of restrictions. And now, nearly 10 years later, Revenged Love is the comeback. Finally, a chance to tell a full story. Or so we thought. The plot follows Wu Suo-wei, a broke and bitter man dumped by his much wealthier girlfriend. To get revenge, he starts his own business and sets out to seduce her new boyfriend, Chi Cheng, the heir to a powerful family. But things don't go as planned. Suo-wei succeeds, and then catches real feelings. And that's when the chaos really begins. It's toxic, it's unhinged, and fans can't get enough. But on August 8, 2025, the show's official Instagram account suddenly announced that the remaining episodes would now be released daily, with the finale landing on August 12th. That's nearly 2 weeks earlier than originally scheduled. No reason was given, no event, no delay, no strategy shift, just a sudden drop. Was it licensing trouble? Government pressure? Harassment targeting the cast? We don't know. But in Chinese BL, fast-tracked endings like this are rarely random. Even when a show is made and released outside of China, the people behind it, the actors, the writer, the crew, are still working under a shadow. And sometimes, that shadow catches up. ABO Desire is something else entirely. While revenged love plays with power and revenge in a grounded modern setting, ABO Desire takes things into full genre territory, the Omegaverse. That alone makes it controversial, even outside of China. But the fact that a Chinese language series is openly embracing alpha, beta, and omega dynamics, that's a first. The story follows characters navigating a high-stakes social hierarchy based entirely on biological status. There's heat, there's scenting, there's suppressant medication, but there's also drama, world-building, and surprisingly intense emotional arcs. And fans noticed? Fast. For a while, it was everywhere. ABO Desire was streaming on 7 platforms across Asia, including major players like WeTV, Youku, and iQIYI. But as the show gained traction, that number quietly dropped. By late July, the series had been removed from all 3 Chinese-owned platforms. No explanation. Just gone. The creators later confirmed the removals on Weibo, and emphasized that the show is still available internationally through platforms like Gaga Olala, Heavenly, KKTV, and others. They also made it clear, the show was never designed for a domestic audience. It was always meant to be seen abroad. But even with that strategy, censorship still found a way in. What started as a bold move toward genre experimentation, especially for Chinese-language BL, ended up becoming another example of what happens when a show pushes too far, too fast. ABO Desire broke the rules, and it got punished. But it didn't get silenced. So why is Chinese BL leading the year? Thailand is still producing back-to-back. Korea is catching up. Taiwan and Japan have their own momentum. But in 2025, it's Revenged Love and ABO Desire that have taken over the conversation, and they're both Chinese. It comes down to 3 things: quality, intensity, and risk. First, the storytelling. Chinese danmei authors, like Chai Ji-dan, are masters of emotional escalation. They know how to build tension, drive conflict, and create characters that feel messy, real, and unforgettable. Second, the production. Even when shot abroad or funded through offshore companies, the creative vision is sharp. These series look good. They move fast. And they're not afraid to go big, with genre, pacing, or emotion. And third, the risk. There's something about watching a story you know wasn't supposed to be told. Something made under pressure. Something fighting to exist. It adds weight. It adds urgency. And fans feel that. Even with censorship still looming, Chinese BL in 2025 has pushed harder, gone further, and hit bigger than anyone expected. And people are watching, not just because it's good, but because it's bold. So, can this continue? Maybe. But maybe not. Because even when these shows are made abroad, Chinese actors are still subject to Chinese laws. And what's released internationally can still come with consequences at home. We've already seen it this year. Actors under fire, creators silenced, and entire series pulled mid-air. Just ask anyone who watched Addicted in 2016, or Stay With Me in 2023, which aired in full, but under heavy restrictions. Or even ABO Desire this year, pulled from platforms without a word. There's always a risk, and it's growing. But so is the demand. Fans around the world are watching, sharing, subtitling, and supporting. And creators, even under pressure, keep finding ways to tell these stories. It might not last forever. But for now, China is quietly setting the global bar for BL, even as it tries to hide it. In a year when Thailand and Korea are producing back-to-back BLs, it's wild that the most talked about ones come from a country that technically banned them. Revenged Love and ABO Desire. 2 shows that shouldn't even exist, and yet they're defining 2025. Chinese creators are navigating impossible odds, and somehow still setting the standard. I hope this pause in the chaos makes you think. If it did, tell us, is Chinese BL pushing the limits too far, or not far enough? Until next time, this is GPkP.